Hello, hello, my friends. It is arguably the most anticipated launch of the year from Kringle Candle. Yes, we are talking Halloween. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a shocking admission, something that many of you will probably be very, very surprised by. And we are also going to be talking about what you need to know about the upcoming Halloween launch. So if you are interested, if your ears are perked up, if you are ready to talk all things Halloween, you're going to want to stay tuned here. So this video today is going to cover phase 1 of the Halloween launch. If you are in the Kringle Facebook group or if you've been following them over on Instagram, then by this point you guys are well aware that Halloween is, or I would say the Halloween launch this year, Kringle has pushed all of their chips into the middle of the table here, and there will be 2 launches for Halloween. The first one will be happening this Friday, August 2nd, at 12:01 a.m. Take note of that, you guys. It's not p.m., not noon Eastern Standard Time. This is a.m. as in midnight. So if you are on the East Coast, if you are in that Eastern Standard Time zone, 12:01 a.m. is when these candles will be available for you to purchase. That means if you're like me and on the West Coast, 9 o'clock p.m. Thursday, August 1st. And if you're somewhere in between, you can figure that out, right? There will be 18 candles available in this first launch. There are 6 new fragrances. There are 12 returning fragrances. And in today's video, I'm going to go over all of the fragrance notes. We're going to talk about all of the candles that will be offered. These are their standard 2-wick large tumbler style jars. They are in that black, those black vessels that are usually used for the reserve line. I know in years past, they used to be completely opaque vessels, but this year they're a little bit more of that like translucent black that they've gravitated to using with the reserve lineup. The retail price on these candles are going to be $34. And I know that that's a pretty penny. I do have a discount code with Kringle. It is Katie15. It will save you 15% off of your purchase if you are planning to shop this launch. Please only use that if you are comfortable doing so. Any ambassador codes that are out there right now, you guys, are affiliate codes. They are eligible for a commission, so please only use them if you are comfortable. But that, I mean, it's a pretty chunk of change. But that being said, you guys, I do know that this launch is more of like a collector's item. I mean, granted, yes, people do like to burn them for the fragrances, but I do believe that Kringle is kind of known for having, for those who are like really, really into Halloween, for those who love to have collections and limited editions, this is like their Super Bowl. So I will say that today when we are talking about these fragrances, if there are candles that really, really appeal to you, that you feel like you would really be disappointed if you didn't get your hands on them, you are not going to want to linger around on these. A lot of these Halloween candles do tend to sell out quite quickly. In fact, one of the returning favorites on here, I will share with you my personal experience with it, and it is one of the ones that I have seen since I've been shopping with the brand. They tend to sell out year in, year out on that fragrance. I'm trying to think, what else here do I want to cover? We have the launch times, we have the price points, we have how many fragrances there will be. You'll want to stay tuned, like I said, till the end of this video because I will give you a slight little hint about the second launch coming up. But yeah, you guys, there's a lot to talk about today. So I am using a new microphone, by the way. So if the audio is a little bit better for you guys, will you chime in down below? Let me know what you guys think about it. Sometimes things sound different for me when I'm going back on editing as opposed to like what you guys are hearing on your TV or whatnot. So if you guys can chime in with that, that would be really helpful. But yeah, let me go ahead and start out here by saying that all of these candles that I talk about today, the fragrance notes, the timestamps, everything, you guys, I will have listed in the description box down below for you, so that way you have an easy reference point if you want to come back and refer to this video to just be like, oh, I think I liked that candle, but what was it? I think that there were some fragrance notes with that one. You have a one-stop shop, especially for those of you who are not on Facebook or Instagram. I feel like this is a good way for you guys to be able to refer back to fragrance notes. So make sure, like, just make sure you know that all of that is listed in the description box down below for you. All right, you guys, so I want to share a little bit of my shocking here's my shocking story. Usually we YouTubers save that for the end of the story, or the end of the video, but I will go ahead and let you in on it early because it is kind of pertinent to this video. All right, you guys, so not a big secret if you've been with my channel for any length of time, but truth be told, you guys, Halloween is not really my jam. Christmas, totally all over it. Love Christmas, love fall, but Halloween in and of itself, ever since I was a little girl, quite honestly, you guys, it's always kind of scared me. It's not really my thing. Now, over the last 6 months, I have been very, very fortunate that KRINGLE has sent me a lot of PR with their new releases. I talked in another video about how KRINGLE Candle selects what ambassadors they send PR to. I kind of delved in a little bit more. I'll have that video linked down below. I did it a few months ago, but I did share with you guys how KRINGLE determines who gets PR, you know, who out of the ambassadors gets selected for that. And I was looking at just my analytics with the program, and I was looking at it and thinking, okay, I might be in contention to receive PR for Halloween, which put me in kind of a place where I really honestly had to stop and think for a minute, because I do know that the way that the Halloween launch goes with KRINGLE, a lot of the time, I think one of the things that sets them apart from a lot of their competitors is that their labels tend to be more, I would say, adult Halloween. They're definitely in line with like a lot of horror movies. They're not as cutesy, you know, like a lot of their Halloween stuff, it's not like some of the other brands where it's more like cutesy Halloween. They go all out, you guys, and some of their labels can be a little grotesque. Maybe some people would describe it as disturbing. I'm not throwing this out there to like throw shade at anybody. I'm just saying, like, let's just call it like it is, right? I think most people would say that they don't go for cutesy Halloween. They are definitely more adult Halloween. And so for me personally, you guys, I still have children in my home. I also have friends who have very young children coming into my home. I will also admit, you guys, that this is not me preaching to anybody or whatnot, but there are a lot of aspects about the Halloween holiday that quite honestly are not in line with my personal beliefs. And so I was at this crossroads of feeling like, okay, I want to do a good job as an ambassador for a program that I have signed up for. This is their biggest launch of the year, and I want to make sure that I'm holding up to my end of the agreement as a brand ambassador, but also I didn't want to put myself in a position where I felt like I was compromising or violating some of like my own personal beliefs. And so I ended up reaching out about a month ago. In fact, I reached out to our ambassador contact over at KRINGLE because to be honest with you guys, where I was going with this story earlier is that the reason why I have received PR a lot over the last 6 months is because a lot of you guys have been using my code. I know that a lot of you guys are really good about rotating code usage between quite a few of us ambassadors, but there was the possibility that I could be receiving PR for this, and that's a huge thank you to all of you guys. Like, I didn't do that on my own. That's a huge thank you to a bunch of you. But I did reach out to my contact and I just let him know. I said, hey, I just want to let you know that if my name happens to be in contention for you to send PR to, I don't want to appear ungrateful or anything like that, but I just explained some of my reasons for feeling a little bit like, I don't know how I would feel about that. And ultimately, I ended up actually just telling him, I said, you know what? If my name is in contention, I would rather see the PR that you were going to send to me to go to an ambassador who does not always get selected to receive PR, but they are really big on Halloween. They would be really excited to receive this collection. We all know, you guys know, we all know that there are certain ambassadors who are shoo-ins to get this collection. We all know Brett, Bonnie, Melanie, like we all know that they were going to get it, but there's like 35 ambassadors in the KRINGLE program, and there are some that are over on Instagram and also here on YouTube that they don't get selected for PR all of the time, and I just felt like, you know what? Whatever you were going to send to me, send it over to somebody else if I was in contention for that. And our manager, or like not manager, but like the man who handles, that's his job with KRINGLE, who handles the ambassador program, he is great. And he said, you know what? He said, first off, He said, I'm so glad that you got in touch with me. He said, I've actually had a couple of other ambassadors express the same type of viewpoint. He says, it's great to see you guys supporting each other. And so at the end of the day, you guys, I passed up the chance to get PR for this collection, and I'm very happy to say that some of the people that I recommended did end up receiving PR for this collection. So I don't have the candles here in front of me. I am very, very well aware that that means that my code will probably not be used as much. Totally fine with that, because at the end of the day, you guys, I feel like this PR then didn't get quote unquote wasted on me. It ended up going to somebody who is really going to do this launch justice, and at the end of the day, like, they were probably more than thrilled to receive the PR. So that's my little shocking admission. I know some of you guys, who, especially if you're watching this video, you are interested in purchasing these candles, and I hope that doesn't come across as like, I don't want it. Like, it's not like that. It's just that I had a variety of factors that were influencing that decision. And anyways, I hope that goes over okay with all of you guys. You guys all know, like, if I'm in contention for Christmas, I will be all over that. And I love the Christmas, the Christmas holiday, but Halloween, not so much. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and talk about these candles, because like I said, there are 18 candles to talk about here, and whoo doggy, there's a lot. So I'm gonna go ahead and start out with the new fragrances. There are 6 new fragrances. The first one here is Carnage. We have top notes of minerals, red apple, and iron, mid notes of a metallic accord and black rose, and a base notes of dark patchouli, Timbersilk, and Clearwood. Okay. So we're seeing, it looks like a dagger, like a bloody dagger on this. Again, you guys, I told you, like, Kringle tends to not be so cutesy. This one to me, you guys, seems like, I don't think I would purchase this one. And I think from just the brief things, I actually haven't even watched any of the videos from those who have received these candles in PR. I do know that Brett uploaded one the other day, and I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet. But on some initial impressions, I think it was Wendy over on Instagram, Wendy B Candle Lover. She said that this one, if you're looking at those like minerals, iron, metallic accord, I have a feeling that this is supposed to be kind of like a bloody, earthy type of fragrance. Not in my wheelhouse at all. I'm okay to have passed up on that. But again, I think that a lot of these are collector's items. So some of you guys that might really interest you. The next one, oh my goodness, so creepy. I would have like nightmares having this in my house. But the fragrance notes actually sound kind of interesting on it. This is Dreadful Dolly. It looks like an even more sinister, evil take on Chucky. We have top notes of apple and amber, mid notes of coffee and green, and base notes of wood and musk. The coffee and the apple and the green notes in there make me think that this is probably like a good, almost maybe like cologne, like fall type of fragrance. I will tell you guys that a lot of these Halloween fragrances do tend to be very deep fragrances. None of them are very like, at least not from this collection. They're not really like a, what would I describe? Like, I mean, they're not gonna obviously be like springtime florals or anything like that, but they do tend to really try to encompass the, I wanna say like the dirtiness. I don't know if that's the right word, but just like the earthiness, the melancholy, the darkness that Halloween usually embodies. So those are the fragrance notes on Dreadful Dolly. Here's the one that I think a lot of people are interested in, and I'm going to tell you guys, I have a feeling that this one is going to be a very high sellout risk because everybody is talking about this fragrance. I think Haunted Hollows. This is top notes of wood smoke and fir, mid notes of herbal and apple, base notes of patchouli and musk. And I will tell you guys, this is one of the fragrances that actually does intrigue me. This label too is really not so bad for me. Honestly, I wouldn't really have a problem with this label. It's just, it looks like a kind kind of like an Addams Family type of castle in front of a big like harvest moon. I honestly wouldn't have a problem with this one. And this one, truthfully, I might take a chance and purchase this one because I do tend to like the way that Kringle does a lot of those like kind of smoky, woody fragrances. It says wood smoke and fir. I do like the way that Kringle does a lot of tree notes in here. We've got herbal and apple and patchouli. So patchouli, again, this is probably going to be a slightly perfumey element in it. But again, that one is the one that I will tell you has me a little bit intrigued. The next fragrance offered is 6 Feet Under. Top notes of earthy and green, mid notes of dirt and wood, base notes of patchouli and musk. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I live in a very dusty, dirty climate. I live in Arizona. Everything is just dusty and dirty right now. So this candle really does not appeal to me very much. It looks like the image of like being in a cemetery or something. It looks like a tombstone here on the label. But again, it looks like it's going to be kind of like a dirty, earthy type of fragrance. Not really in my wheelhouse, but it also has that base note of patchouli and musk. You will notice in a lot of the Halloween candles that patchouli is going to be a frequent fragrance note that you're going to see repeated in here. But yeah, it is an interesting mix of notes here. All right, you guys, another one that honestly the fragrance notes really appeal to me, but I don't know, you guys, if I could peel off this label, which I know some of you guys would feel like that's sacrilegious, if I could peel off this label, the fragrance notes on this one do appeal to me. Top notes, sorry, this is Skull and Sonnet. We have top notes here of bourbon and tobacco. If you've been with my channel, you guys see right there. Mid notes of sandalwood and suede, and base notes of amber and oak. This is one, honestly, that I could see myself taking a gamble on, you guys. Again, maybe if I can just turn that label around, or I don't know. You guys, I don't want to look at that. Like, I don't want to look at a skull when I'm sitting here in my living room eating my brownie or whatever. Like, I'm sitting out here wanting to watch some TV and relax, and I don't know. I don't want to look at things that like decaying or whatnot. I don't know, you guys. Obviously, if you're watching this video, some of you guys are like, maybe I just have a weak stomach, but I don't know. That kind of stuff, I look at that and I just lose my appetite. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe that'll be a good diet going into the holidays. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like the packaging on it, but I do like the fragrance notes of that one. Bourbon and tobacco, that's where that had me. Amber, all of those fragrance notes in there look really, really appealing to me. So I might need to check out the thoughts of some of my fellow ambassadors who have already received this one because it does look appealing to me. All right, and the last new fragrance that will be offered is Thirst. Looks like we've got vampire mouth on the front here. Okay. We have top notes of wood and cognac, mid notes of patchouli and pepper, and base notes of amber and tonka. So that one to me sounds like it's going to smell maybe slightly boozy because we've got a little bit of that cognac note in there. Wood, patchouli, pepper. Again, this sounds like it might be like a deep, maybe almost like borderline cologne type of fragrance as we're seeing amber and tonka in there. I do love tonka notes in candles. They lend kind of like a vanilla creaminess to it. So yeah, that one does appeal to me in terms of the fragrance notes, but I don't think that I will be getting that one. I would say of the 6 new fragrances, the 2 that appeal to me the most are Haunted Hallows and the Skull and Sonnet fragrance. But yeah, oh gosh, that dreadful Dolly, I just need to turn the page because that's really creeping me out, if I can be really honest with you. Okay, you guys, so those are the 6 new fragrances. Let's go ahead and talk about the 12 candles that are making a return. I have actually had one of the candles in this lineup, and I actually am kind of kicking myself a little bit now because I did declutter it a couple of months ago, and I'm like, oh, I should have held on to it so that way I could have done a post-burn review to share with you guys prior to this launch, but oh well, I'll give you my thoughts in this video here for it. All right, you guys, so the first of the returning lineup is 7 Days. We have top notes of dewy greens, herbaceous leaves, mid notes of apple blossom, jasmine blooms, mint leaf, and thyme, base notes of cedarwood, patchouli, geranium, and musk. So this one to me seems like it's going to be kind of like a deep fall floral type of fragrance. Again, we have some cedarwood and patchouli in there as some base notes, but you've got a lot of floral notes in here. You're seeing greens. We've got apple blossom, jasmine blooms, mint leaf. So again, that one sounds like it's going to be maybe like a fresh floral type of vibe for fall. The next fragrance that is making a return is Cemetery Lane. We have top notes of dark mysterious musk, ooh, midnight iris, mid notes of patchouli and dried oak, base notes of creeping moss, creepy, okay, dusky cedar, and sweet earth. I know what they mean by creeping moss. I do know that that is like actually a type of plant, but okay, you guys, so again, this one we've got kind of like maybe some like floral green type of notes here. Patchouli, again, you guys, I feel like that's like the common denominator that you're going to see in a lot of these fragrance notes here. Again, probably more of an earthy type of fragrance. Coven, okay, that one looks kind of scary. Yeah, I've told you guys I am such a scaredy cat. Okay, top notes, cinnamon leaf and lemon flower. Mid notes, lily of the valley, jasmine, patchouli. Base notes of musk, sandalwood, vanilla, and I'm gonna butcher this. Guacwood. You guys let me know if you know how to pronounce that. Okay, so this one looks like it has a base note of maybe like, you know, like some creamy vanilla and some musk that's gonna add some perfuminess to it. I'm curious to see what they mean by like cinnamon leaf and lemon flower, lily of the valley. So this to me sounds like it's gonna be like a very, like, again, fall floral type of fragrance with some of those musks and sandalwoods in there and the lily of the valley. I do know that Melanie, who has employed as a florist for a long, long time, says that she always pretty much in her mind equates lily of the valley with funerals. So I guess that would make sense with a Halloween launch because death seems to be fixated on a lot with Halloween. But that is Coven, that is making a return. Graveyard Night, so this is top notes of caramel, fruity, bayberry, anise star, mid notes of pumpkin, spices, clove, cinnamon, base notes of sweet, milk, musk, and powdery. Now, I do believe that this is probably great for those of you who are lean a little bit more towards the gourmand fragrances. I'm seeing here caramel, pumpkin, spices, cloves, cinnamon, so it might be a little bit spicy, as well as with that anise star. Might be lean a little bit maybe more towards like a licorice type of fragrance note there. I could see in the top notes. We all know, I've actually talked about that, talked about this week. Caramel for me, you guys, with KRINGLE, I don't particularly love the way that KRINGLE does caramel notes. So I feel like that top note of caramel there kind of has me giving some pause because I don't always love the way that they do caramel fragrances. But yeah, that one looks like it would appeal to those of you who love gourmand fragrances. I know that this is another returning favorite, Halloween. Top notes of black licorice, anise, and fennel. Fennel, we all know, has kind of like a maple syrup type of fragrance to it. Mid notes of clove, cinnamon, and nutmeg. We have base notes of musk, cedarwood, sweet, and tonka and vanilla. So again, you guys, this does sound like a gourmand type of fragrance. I would say that between Graveyard Night and Halloween, this one, I feel like this one I might lean towards more a little bit just because of the cedarwood and tonka and vanilla in the base notes. But then again, you guys, that black licorice note at the top is kind of scaring me off. I don't like licorice fragrances. In fact, I feel like there was a licorice fragrance there was a fragrance last year that I did buy from KRINGLE. It was when they did some 3 wicks, and what was it? It was called like Black Cats and Bats or something. That came into my collection and I decluttered it right away. I mean, that thing smelled like a cat litter box to me. I was not into it. Oh, my husband is home in the midst of my filming here, talking all things Halloween. You can go ahead and walk around. He's very excited to be home for the weekend. All right, The next fragrance that will be offered is one called It's Evil. Oh boy, and that also looks very creepy on the label with that little lone red balloon. I do know that this is a very popular gourmand fragrance though. The top notes on this are pastry and spice, mid notes of butter and caramel, and base notes of almond and vanilla. This is another fragrance that sells out very, very quickly with Kringle. Now I will say on this one, a lot of people drew comparisons between this candle and the Easter brunch candle that came out back in the Easter collection. So a lot of people have said that they would give the edge to the Easter brunch candle. They really, really liked that one. So if you have a couple of those in your collection and you're not really big on Halloween, but you're buying more so for the fragrance notes, I would tell you that you're probably safe from this one. However, if you did like that fragrance, you don't have a lot of backups and you want something maybe that's comparable, or maybe you want to compare them for yourself, then this is the fragrance that I do know a lot of people were talking about when Easter brunch was launched, that they felt like the fragrances were pretty similar. They said that there were some nuanced differences, but that those two fragrances were pretty similar. All right, you guys, the next fragrance that is offered is Nevermore. We have a picture of a raven. It looks like a raven on a rock here. That one, I would say like it's probably one of the less creepy type of labels. Top notes here of chai spice, honey, mid notes of sandalwood and tea, base notes of cinnamon floral. To be honest with you guys, the fragrance notes on this one actually look appealing to me. I do tend to like how Kringle does some tea fragrances, and I do like a good chai tea. So this one is probably in that gourmand like realm. However, it's not like bakery gourmand. This is more so if you enjoy tea fragrances, if you maybe have some other like generic pumpkin scents or maybe some vanilla fragrances in your collection, this one would probably pair really nicely with it. Yeah, sandalwood, that can be kind of like a perfumey type of note sometimes to me, but cinnamon floral, that's an interesting base note there. But I do tend to like how Kringle does kind of tea and honey type of fragrances. So that is one that honestly, that would appeal to me. I do like that one. All right, you guys, next one up is Sinister, and that again is another label that freaks me out. Top notes here of ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, and cardamom. Mid notes of Moscato wine, dark plum, and cranberries. Base notes of amber, vanilla, coconut, and musk. So this to me looks like it's going to be kind of like a fruity, like a deep fruity type of fragrance, more of an appropriate fall fruity type of scent, just as we've got here plum, cranberries, you've got wine in the mid notes there. But again, the addition of the spices or the ginger element at the top this is probably going to be kind of like a blend of like some warm spices with a deep fruity accord in there. All right, here's the fragrance that I actually had last year. This is also a fragrance that seems to sell out year in, year out. This is the one that I was talking about. This is Sleepy Hollow. So we have a picture here of the Headless Horseman, and the horse has got some red eyes here. Fun fact about me, you guys, remember the Disney version of like Ichabod Crane? I watched that movie as a kid and it terrified me. Like, I don't know what it was. Something, I told you guys, Halloween's not my thing. Something about that movie just stuck with me. And even, it's so funny, I was just at Disney a couple of weeks ago and we went on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which, by the way, who thought that was a good idea? If you've never been on that ride at Disneyland, basically at the end of the ride, you end up in hell. I mean, like, that's a great idea for a kid's ride. But I do know that those movies kind of like intertwined with each other. They were both made in, I think, like the late 40s with Disney. So anyways, Sleepy Hollow has just always given me the creeps. However, I did purchase this candle last year. So the top notes on it are pumpkin spice and incense, mid notes of cedarwood and clove, base notes of caramel and citrus. All right, you guys, so that fragrance to me, I will say that I did enjoy it for the holiday, Halloween season. It is a deeper fragrance. It's not necessarily a gourmand to my nose. There was something about it that had like a depth and richness to it. I think it was the pumpkin spice and the incense in there. There was a little bit of spiciness, but the cedarwood and the clove balanced out really, really nicely. And the caramel in that one, believe it or not, I didn't get that like scorched burn scent that I typically get from a lot of Kringle candle caramel fragrances. So that scent was nice. I didn't love it, but I can tell you that I can see why it for those people who really, really love kind of that like more dark, mysterious type of vibe going on in their house during, you know, leading up to Halloween or whatnot, I can see why they loved it so much, because it was, like I said, dark and mysterious, but it wasn't like scary or off-putting. It was still very like enjoyable, and it was different. It's definitely a unique fragrance. So, and mine, I will tell you, performed really, really well for me. That was a solid like 9 in terms of strength and throw. It performed quite well for me. So that one, I will tell you, that one sells out year in, year out. It's one of the first ones to always sell out. So I would just say that if that is one that is on your list, you want to make sure that you're right there at the launch time to go ahead and purchase it. All right, another fragrance that is returning this year is Trick or Treat. Top notes of poison apple, green, aldehydic, so like aldehydes, fir, and marine. Mid notes of pine, cinnamon, and clove. Base notes of sandalwood, musk, cedarwood. Again, here we go, guacwood, and moss. Now I will say this is probably my favorite label of them all because it's just some cute little jack-o'-lanterns on it. This one, I believe, who was it last year did a review of this one? Was it Connor? Connor, did you have this one last year? I feel like you did. There was kind of that apple note. A lot of them actually said that this didn't really come across as like a Halloween scent to them. I feel like I remember people saying that this one, that apple, really came out. There was kind of like a freshness to it that a lot of people really enjoyed. So if you are somebody who likes maybe more fresh type of fragrances and that label is a little bit more appealing to the masses, then that might be one that you want to consider. All right, Witch's Cauldron. We have top notes of cedar and clove, mid notes of incense, and base notes of citrus. So again, you guys, that one, honestly, the fragrance notes on that one actually do appeal to me a little bit. I do tend to like cedar and clove and incense. Is it one that I feel like I absolutely need? No, but I do believe that a lot of people who love Kringle's Halloween, they say that, I believe it's this one, Witch's Cauldron, tends to be kind of in their like trifecta of fragrances that they really, really enjoy from the brand. So that is another returning favorite. And then finally, the last returning favorite is Witching Hour. We have top notes of dried berries, earthy spices, mid notes of jasmine petals, blue cypress, violet leaf, and we have base notes of smoky, moss, and sandalwood. I think it's sandalwood bean. I'm looking at my my printout here, and that part got a little bit cut off for me. So again, this one looks like it's gonna be another one, maybe like a floral, fruity, fresh type of fragrance. We've got a whole lot going on in this one because cypress is like a very distinct tree note to my nose. But then you've also got like violet leaf, jasmine petals, moss, sandalwood. So there's gonna be like some greenery and woody aspects to it. So this one to me sounds like it's gonna be a little bit more like, again, natural, fresh type of scent. Witching Hour, I always joke about when my babies were young. Raise your hand if you are a parent. Did you guys ever feel like after, what was it? It was usually always around dinner time. I always called it the witching hour with my babies because they could have been content all day. Starting at like 5 o'clock in the evening, they were crying, they were clingy, they were just, there was no making them happy until you got them to bed. So every time I see Witching Hour, I think of that time in my life. So again, you guys, those are the 18 fragrances that will be available this Friday, August 2nd at midnight Eastern Standard Time. Go ahead, make your list. I am just one of many ambassadors and candle content creators who are talking about this launch. Also this week, I did want to let you guys know that I will be continuing to upload some post-burn reviews on a lot of the recent fall candles that were released, well, where are we at? Earlier this month. We all know that Kringle released their 12 candles in their Kringle and their Country lineup. And I have been able to get to the point where I'm ready to do some post-burn reviews on a lot of these candles. In fact, I've already uploaded a couple of them. So if you are wanting some, if you're just wanting some thoughts about how those candles are performing, maybe you held off on purchasing those when they were launched because you were wanting to save some money on shipping and combine that purchase. I do have some reviews that have already gone up and some that will be going up. In addition, on Thursday, you guys, I will be uploading a video where I will be sharing with you my top 10 Kringle fall fragrances. That doesn't just mean like new fall fragrances, it means the ones that are currently available on the website. My top 10 picks for fall. Again, if you are wanting to save money on shipping and just go ahead and make one big order, if that's your budget. I completely understand, you guys, if it's not in your budget. Remember, you guys, FOMO, I know especially with this launch, I understand the FOMO because a lot of these do sell out. It's such a big hyped up launch. But in terms of like the other stuff that sticks around for some time, you guys are not gonna have to, you guys can always wait for a sale. There's always gonna be a sale, okay? But I will be uploading those in case some of you guys are interested in wanting to know some of my fall favorites and maybe throwing them into your cart at that time. So I will be uploading that on Thursday. And then the last thing that I wanted to say while we are talking about budgets here, again, you guys, we have not been cleared to share information yet about the second candle launch with Kringle. However, the one thing that I do want to say, if some of you guys have concerns about your budget being completely tapped out on this first launch, just know that there will be a little bit of time between launches. So, you know, if you're concerned about that, that is the one little hint that I will give you. I will also tell you guys that I know what candles are coming. The ambassadors have already been told about them, and I do know some of the ambassadors who are getting PR for it. They have already received it, and I've actually been talking to one of them behind the scenes, and there is one candle that I'm gonna tell you guys, I know for sure I will be buying from that second launch just based on the packaging and the fragrance. This ambassador did tell me that the fragrance smells really, really good too, so I'm happy to see that it's not just the packaging because I was very excited about it. So I think that's it, you guys. I think I got everything out there. Remember, you guys, if you want to save some money and you're okay using affiliate codes, my code is Katie15. It will save you 15% off of this purchase. Also, feel free to chime in down below if you have purchased any of these returning fragrances before. If you have any additional feedback about the fragrance descriptions, please, please, please feel free to leave a comment down below so that way the rest of the candle community can hear what your experiences have been with these candles. Because like I said, only one of these returning fragrances I have purchased before. I did purchase last year's Scarecrow, and that was actually a really nice like tobacco type of fragrance. I did like that one. I have a friend who I think is going to really, really enjoy that fragrance, so I did declutter it and hand it off to her. But that's a nice fragrance. I'm a little disappointed that it's not back this year, but who knows, maybe that Skull and Sonnet will be kind of in that same realm since there is a tobacco note in there. It probably won't be the same because there's no bourbon, but I don't know, who knows on that. Also, let me know what are maybe your top 3 contenders this year to pick up. I would be curious to know. Again, you guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit thumbs up. If you are new to my channel, hi, I'm Katie. I love to talk all things candles, so I would love to have you here as a member of our little candle community here. Feel free to hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. I like to do videos like this where I cover new launches coming up. Sometimes I have the candles in front of me as PR to share like actual what I'm smelling with you, and other times I just go over the details like this. I also do a lot of dedicated post-burn reviews. I do empties, hauls, and everything in between. So again, if you like candle content, I think you would like to stick around here. I do want to say thank you so very, very much for spending your time here with me today. And until my next one, I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day. Bye.